Biafra, superstars, media.
My people, my name is Biafra Superstars Media. Today, I am speaking as a Biafran. I want to call on the attention of those they call OhanaezeNdigbo. Ohanaeze, what have you done? Ohanaeze, I heard you went around begging the presidential caliphate to release Nnamdi Kanu on a presidential pardon. You are asking for a political pardon. Ohanaeze, you should know that it is only a convicted criminal, a convicted felon, somebody who is on death row that you seek a so-called pardon for. When someone is convicted, that's when you go about pleading with the federal zoo government for a political pardon, or what they call a presidential pardon. At this point, my people, I wish to call upon the Biafran golden child who brought this to my attention, and he told me he would like to speak on it. Being that he's there in the zoo, he will need to speak from that perspective. Without any much further ado, my people, I want us to listen to the presentation of the Biafran golden child when it comes to Ohanaeze. Because these people you call your elders, these men you call your leaders, they have brought disgrace to the name of the Biafrans. They have shamed us. They have brought insult, and they have destroyed their reputation. A Biafran man that I know will never go a begging. As the saying goes, he who goes a begging goes a sorrowing. Ohanaeze, we call upon you to recant your statements, or else you'll be put to shame. How dare you speak about a political pardon? You should check your lexicons, check the words you use when you are speaking to that zoo government, because our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, has no case to answer. I gotta go. Without any much further ado, before I pick my phone call, I wish to present to you the Biafran golden child, the real Biafran golden child. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're hearing my voice from. This is the Biafran Golden Child, and once again, I'm happy, very happy to communicate with us through the Biafra Superstar Media. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're doing well. I hope life is treating you fairly, If so, thanks be to God. Because these days we need to wish ourselves well. We need to wish ourselves the best, Because of course we can all hear, we can all see, we can all understand the level of, human depravity, the level of hopelessness, the level of fear, the level of destruction, and the level of insecurity and hunger in this our country, Nigeria. I mean, everybody is aware that in recent times, things has fallen apart. I mean, here is a country that is marking its 64th independence anniversary, and at the same time, the youths have organized a parallel hashtag Fearless in October protest, in which they are telling you know, the administrators of this country, the leaders of this country, that enough is enough. We are tired of your postulations. We are tired of your policies. We are tired of your administration because you guys, have demonstrated the highest level of insensitivity, the highest level of callousness, the highest level of wickedness to the generality of the citizens of this country. I mean, the youths cannot imagine why a country like Nigeria is going through all these painful experiences where a lot of people cannot afford to feed themselves. A lot of people cannot afford to give themselves urgent medical cares, and a lot of people are hungry. A lot of people are unemployed and out of job. A lot of people, are homeless, sick and homeless, and yet the government, seems to be, you know, chasing shadows. The government seems to, be anything but attentive to the yearnings and expectations of its people. I mean, just a few hours ago, it was reported that uh, the president of this country has proceeded on a 2 weeks vacation to United Kingdom. I mean, this is a man whose country is on fire. This is a man whose house is on fire and is busy chasing a rat. I mean, this is a man who has seen that, people are completely, you know, uh, demotivated about his administration. People are fed up. People are frustrated. People are in a position of shock. You know, people are in psychological stages of storm and stress, and yet he has just jumped into his private jet and is proceeding on 2 weeks vacation at the United Kingdom, which he called a working vacation. I mean, what level of wickedness, what level of insensitivity, how terrible can it be? I mean, this country has actually reached its zenith in collapse. It has reached its zenith in, you know, failure, so to say, So under this arrangement, it's a very painful one. I mean, for some of us who are social commentators, we find this kind of things very perturbing, highly incredulous to us that, a man who touted himself as a Democrat, as a freedom lover, as a political juggernaut, as the, you know, as the person who saw himself as, willing and ready to serve, as someone who declared emphatically, even before an election, that it is his turn, it is my turn, a Milocon, the very man who made Nigerians believe that yes, for the first time in the history of this country, you're going to have an administration in which the personality involved at the highest echelon of power is ready, is his turn, and will hit the ground running. He had promised Nigeria that you will never imagine what will happen to you. You will never imagine the kind of breakthrough. You will never imagine the kind of economic super development. You never imagine the level of social development. You never imagine, what I'll do for this country. But I'll promise you, that yes, it's my turn, and yes, I know I'm going to get it, and I'll show you all that Nigeria will reach El Dorado. You know, and so a lot of people look forward, with great expectations. They had hoped that yes, this man who is talking so vociferously, this man who is speaking so vivaciously, this man who is thumping his chest and speaking as though, yes, he knows it all. He's seeing what Nigerians are not seeing. He's seeing what a lot of people are not seeing. That he's going to do, magnificent changes positively for this country. Yeah, but at 64 years anniversary, 64 years of independence, and running into the second year of his administration, Nigerians have observed that they have been served a bitter pill. For the first time, this is the government that has shown that, of course, it doesn't need years to achieve anything, but already it needs just a few hours, just a few days, just a few weeks, maybe just a year, 3 months to make things terribly difficult for people. It seems as if Nigerians have met their nemesis because they were, I mean, just a few years ago, when it was the last PMB administration, people thought they had seen the worst of it all. People thought they had seen a crossless, a clueless, and a government without any future ambition for its people. They thought the worst was over. With PMB, a lot of people thought, okay, let him go. Let's move. Let's take a breath of fresh air. They thought this new administration, the Jagaban, the man who said Emilio Con was going to bring a breath of fresh air. But oh, alas, Nigerians have been served the bitter pill. They've been served the bitter pill of life. They have been subsided at the end because this man just came in and the first thing he screamed was on inauguration day, he said fuel subsidy has been removed. That was the first gift to give to Nigerians. That was the first economic decision we took. Fuel subsidy is hereby removed. On the very first day he was inaugurated in office. And of course, ever since then, pandemonium has spread. Things have become particularly overwhelmingly difficult for Nigerians. There's bad governance, there's hardship, prices of articles, prices of foodstuffs, prices of petroleum products, prices of everything in the country has torpedoed to the highest prices unimaginable, never before imagined, possible in this country. Inflation rates have reached the highest levels in the past 25 years. That's 3.5%. That's the highest level of, degradation, hardship, and difficulty any country can go. So Nigeria is on the brinks. Nigeria is on the brinks. Nigeria is on the brinks. And the gentleman who said, Emilio Con, who said, it's my turn, is jetting out on a 2 weeks vacation to United Kingdom. What a shame, really. What a shame. What a shame. Who did this to Nigeria? Who did this to the black man? Why is the black man? Why is the Nigerian so unreliable, so insensitive to the plight of his people, to the plight of the black man, to the plight of his fellow Nigerians? He has gone out, and before he left, he has, told his lieutenants and cohorts to organize a 30-day youth empowerment seminar and program, which he tagged, leadership training empowerment programs, which everybody, every woman in Nigeria know is just an attempt to delude the youth, to delude the country, to deceive everybody to think things was going to get better, was going to get well. Meanwhile, it's a mirage. Meanwhile, it's a ploy again to siphon a lot of money out of the country. It's a ploy again to enrich a lot of lieutenants who would be at the helm of affairs of this so-called 30 days empowerment program. Of course, this will be another opportunity for, a heist or sleaze, easy sleaze into the Nigerian, cookie jar, into the Nigerian, depleting resources. Really is a sad commentary, very sad commentary that the man who promised so much has come to give out nothing, nothing at all. Like I keep saying, it's like the proverbial elephant that gave birth to a rat. But gigantic animal, gigantic promises, gigantic aspirations, gigantic explanations, gigantic, promises. And at the end of the day, nothing to show for it. Really a sad commentary indeed. Yeah, but that is not the cruise of my discussion this morning. Yeah, for this morning, I'm much more, concerned, about what is happening to our maximum, leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and that is where I think we should base you know, uh, our perspectives and perceptions for this audio. Yes, I want to briefly recall to every one of us, bring to our awareness that because of the so-called 64th independence anniversary, because of the celebration of the 64th year of independence from Britain, the OhanaezeNdigbo, the OhanaezeNdigbo, the Igbo social cultural group, has gone to, you know, came to the press and they have appealed to this same president of Nigeria, the Jagaban, the man who says, "It is my turn," Emilokon, the man who said, "I will hit the ground running," the man who said, "In my administration, there will be zero tolerance for corruption, there will be zero tolerance for nepotism, there will be zero tolerance for tribalism, there will be zero tolerance for, poor achievements and expectations." Nobody who doesn't have goals, who doesn't have, objectives, who doesn't have, a proven methodology, for achievement will be in my government because we will hit the ground running. So the Ohanaeze went on this very 64th day of independence on this 1st October 2024. They sent, a communique in which they were appealing. They were appealing and they were appealing to this Jagaban, this Emilokon president, to grant Mazen Nnamdi Kanu a uh, political freedom, a political pardon, because they said this would be a good opportunity for the president to consider the situation surrounding the arrest, the trial, the detention, and everything about Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that it would be a great opportunity for him to reach out and say, "Gentlemen, I have pardoned you, go back to your people." And they are vowed, they are vowed equally that if the president would release this gentleman at this period, it will serve a lot of positive purposes. One, it will bring peace to the eastern region. Two, it was going to stop all these so-called Biafran agitators that have made the southeast and Biafran land ungovernable. They said it will again help to check insecurity in the land because a lot of felons, a lot of criminals have taken the Biafra. I mean, because the Mazen and the Kanu have been detained, a lot of felons have taken to the streets and they have made Southeast terribly ungovernable. He said if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, they said Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was pardoned, that they believe it would checkmate activities of people like dissidents like Simon Ekwa and his militia group. It would check, it would completely, derail the security, insecurity plans of this Simon Ekwa and his group and other insurgents in the southeast. They believe that the Igbo man will be happy and they will see the president as a performer and as a man of, you know, a man who loves and appreciates the Igbo people. They said, they told him again, if you grant this man pardon, of course, we will see that you have welcomed the Igbo man into your polity, into your administration, that you will be making history as the man who did what was right for the Igbo people by asking that, Nnamdi Kanu be released, especially as Nigeria marks its 64th anniversary. Once again, they also pleaded with the president, the Jagaban, to use this opportunity, to write his name in gold in Igbo land. Use this opportunity, to quiet those detractors who say he has no interest in Igbo land and Igbo people and Igbo affairs. They once equally claim too that if he does this, he will be better than the last head of state of this country, PMB, who had every opportunity to have, granted Nnamdi Kanu pardon and released him, but who failed woefully. And because of that, he has been christened, a hater of the Igbo people, a hater of the Biafran people, and a hater of everything concerning the Southeast. So they told the Jagaban, this is your chance. Give him a political freedom. And for the first time, you'll be surprised. Peace will return to, the East. Peace will return to Biafra land. Peace will return amongst, every freedom lover, every state in the Southeast. Once again, they told him that if you grant this Mazenam pardon at this time, at this momentous time of Nigeria's independence anniversary celebration, that you would have instantly to stifle this continued call for, people to stay at home on certain days in the southeast, the states in the southeast, because of course by then you would have broken loose anything, the hegemony of, Simon Ekpa and his group, who are pretending that the reason for their insurgents, the reason for the atrocities they are committing everywhere in the East, the reason for making the East ungovernable was because Nnamdi Kanu was held, in the dungeons of the TSS, was incarcerated in Nigeria prisons, when in fact he should be walking free all over the world. So that this would be a way of nipping anything about insurrection in the southeast, anything about misdemeanor in the southeast, anything about insecurity in the southeast, anything about lawlessness in the southeast, anything about these violent aspects of Biafran insurgents who claim to be, who are led by Simon Ekpa and who are claiming that they are effectively and assiduously working for the release, conditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah, that was what the OhanaezeNdigbo said, and that was what its Vice President, Chief Damian Ekeke Ogene, has vehemently and vociferously demanded. Yes, they appealed and they are begging. Yes, Chief Damian Okeke said this is a very vantage opportunity for the president to do the right thing. Do the right thing and curb indiscipline. Do the right thing, Mr. President. Release Nnamdi Kanu, and you will be shocked at the level of, calm and calmness that will be immediately, that will immediately spread all over the southeast, because you have kept this man, in detention, because everybody is clamoring for his release. That's why they are fomenting trouble every day. They are fomenting trouble. That's why the South is ungovernable. That's why areas like, in recent times, when you hear about, the National Open University at the Himimbano being set ablaze because Imo youths, because Biafrans said no, they were not ready for, the house, for that university, for that edifice, for that environment to be used as an IDP for northern refugees. He said it is things like this, it is decisions like this, it is the release of Nnamdi Kanu that can break the jinx of insecurity, of insurgency, of kidnappings, of killings, of social unrest, of asking people to stay at home, and all these general, violent activities and kidnappings in the southeast. So Chief Damian Okeke Ogene, assured the president that give this man a political pardon, and of course you will be glad you did. We will thank you. Ndigbo will be grateful to you, and of course the story will have, a happy ending, especially concerning any issue about Biafra agitation. So that's what the OhanaezeNdigbo said. That is what they have proposed to the Jagaban, to Emilio Khan, to the man who is at the helm of affairs of this country. Yes, That's what they said, and that's what they believe, and that's their postulations. That's their request. That is their appeal to the Jagaban. Yeah, but in a twist, the the a lawyer representing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in the whole of this is incarceration, this is trial, this is ordeal in the hands of the DSS in Nigeria. Following his repatriation from Kenya. You know, um, the lawyer, the prominent lawyer and intellectual, you know, uh, Barrister Loy Ejimako has come out to vigorously, and clearly, you know, uh, enlighten and educate the OhanaezeNdigbo on the meaning, the full meaning of what they are requesting for. He has told them that, he came out vigorously explaining to OhanaezeNdigbo that, look, gentlemen, if you must be told, yes, you mean well, you told the president to grant this man release from the jugular, from the dungeon of the DSS, incarceration. Yes, that is a good one, but you are highly mistaken. It is totally wrong and unacceptable to demand an unconditional political release for, when you say you want Nnamdi Kanu to be released, to be given a political release or political freedom, you are missing the point. Yes, you are missing the point because, of course, by that, appeal alone, by that statement alone, by such demands alone, you are assuming that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was found guilty of any felony, was found guilty of any, criminality, was found guilty of insurgents, was found guilty of any offense. The only person you demand political release, or freedom for is someone who has committed an offense, someone guilty as charged, And they said, OhanaezeNdigbo, Chief Damian Okeke Ogene, should tell his organization that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has not committed any offense, has not in any way betrayed the trust of any country, has not in any way manifested reasons or behaviors or involved himself in activities that are illegal, that are, that can be called felony, that can be called activities in insurrection in this country. He is not guilty and has not been found guilty of any crime. And so to say you are asking the president of this country, the Jagaban, the Milocom man, to grant Mazen Nnamdi political freedom is admitting and, claiming and assuming that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was guilty as charged. He said they should be aware, fully aware, that there has been no record of any proven, charges against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And all through his travels in the Nigerian judiciary, all his travels in the DSS, held dungeon, he has never, fallen foul or been convicted of any felonious, activity, of any insurgency activities. Neither has he been found guilty of any crime. And so Barrister Lawyer Jimako made it abundantly clear to OhanaezeNdigbo that you don't give, a wrong impression. You don't say what you are not familiar with. There is no political pardon needed for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. What he should get is an unconditional release because, he is a free man. He is a gentleman. He is a man who has done nothing to the Nigerian government. The only thing he did was to tell Nigeria and bring to awareness of the world, the plight of the Igbo man, and the injustices done to the southeast and to the general anti-party behavior towards, the Igbo man, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a freedom fighter, a freedom lover, and a believer in peace and unity. What he said was, if you want Ndigbo to remain in your enclave or in what we call that what constitutes Nigeria, please give them a sense of belonging. Let them know they are wanted. Let them know they are appreciated. Let them know that they count in what constitutes Nigeria. I mean, you can't say you want Ndigbo to be part of the Biafrans to be part of Nigeria, and every other time you're bringing up policies and strategies and political decisions that keep subjugating them, keep marginalizing the Igbo, keep making the Igbo play a second fiddle in this country. He said, no, your policies are directed at making the Igbo, impoverished economically. Because, of course, why would there be seaports? This Ndigbo are known merchants, who invest in mercantile activities. But all the seaports in the country are related, are established in areas that are far from the southeast. No attempt have been made, to bring the ports closer, to Onitsha, closer to Enugu, closer to Owerri, closer to Abia State, Omahia, closer to Ebonyi. Every one of these things are deliberately, established at, areas far from, these people who are into importations, these people who are the life wire of every, most mercantile activities in this country. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, no, when you are bringing rail, you're establishing rails for transportations and you're taking the rail system, from uh, uh, Katsina down to Niger. You're creating rail systems from Lagos possibly to Ibadan and maybe to the north. But nobody has said, let us put effective rail transportation between Lagos to the east, southeast, between Abuja to the southeast, between the southeast and other, areas of this country that would make transportation and the movement of goods and, you know, uh, people much more faster and much more effectively and cheaper, for everybody, including people in the southeast. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, Igbo man should be given an opportunity, the Igbo man should be given an opportunity to freely and be ambitious enough, freely desire to get the highest echelon of power in this country. But we have seen that these things are not real. They don't happen. Because every point in time, the Igbo man has aspired. He is made, both whether he wins election, whether he doesn't win election, whether he's on the verge of winning. Of course, every power that be in this so-called Nigeria will make sure the Igbo man's ambition stifled in the knob, is nipped in the bud. This Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, no, you don't give the Igbo man the impression that he's part of this country. You don't make him feel happy to belong to this country because you treat him like a vassal, a conquered people. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, no, with the experiences of the Nigerian Civil War between 1967 and 1970, where the Igbos were almost completely annihilated from, this geographical region called Nigeria, that he expected years later, he expected the Igbos to have, regained, their personality, their pride of place, in Nigeria. But what he sees is that years after the 1966 pogrom in the north, where the Igbos were duly attacked and, willfully, almost annihilated, chased away, their properties burned, their wives raped and killed. That he thought, eventually with the activities that, became what is known as the Biafran Civil War between 67 and 70, that by now Nigeria should have realized that it's about time the Igbo man was given his pride of place in this country called Nigeria. And so Mazi Nnamdi Kanu could be likened to people, freedom fighters, uh, preachers of peaceful changes, such as the late Dr. Martin Luther King of America, and a lot of people who mean well, who have, invested and who have clamored for peaceful change. So Barrister Aloy Ejemako, Ejemako said, no, Ohanaeze, yes, we like your, the gesture behind your request, but no, 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 you don't assume a man is guilty when he has not been proven guilty. You don't demand for political freedom, political release for a man who, so far so good, has not in any way been proven guilty in any of the charges. So please retract your steps. If you mean well, tell the government to respect the rule of law and tell this man to go home. Apologize to him. Say, go home. You are not guilty. Go and, live your life and manage your life and your people much more effectively. He reminded them, when you say grant somebody political freedom, you are assuming he's a convict already. Is the person's name will be written in the annals of this country, engraved in the annals of this country as a convict and one who had been found guilty at some points of creating breaches or of engaging in infamous and felonious behavior. So Nnamdi Kanu should never fall into such a category, you know. And they reminded them, Pastor Lawyer Jimako reminded OhanaezeNdigbo that in the southwest, when his son Ndigbo, was unconditionally released. No charges, every charge was dropped, and he's a free man today, moving around and still clamoring for the liberation of the southwest region. He said a lot of people, including the Miati Allah people in the north, including the Boko Haram people who have fomented so much trouble and made Nigeria ungovernable, especially in the northeast, especially in the central north, especially in the north, are walking free, pardoned, and most of them, the militants in them, have been granted unconditional freedom, and even a lot of them have joined the Nigerian Armed Forces. They have been pardoned, they have joined the Nigerian Armed Forces. He reminded me equally of the militants in the South, oil producing states of this nation, who, when they went out, created all the mayhem, destroyed oil facilities in the South, in the Ogoni region. These people eventually were granted pardon, and most of their highly ferocious agitators, like Tompolo, like Kasari Dokubo, and the likes of them, were given juicy positions in this country to overhaul and to oversee economic oil activities all over those parts of the country. And so that in the case of Nigeria, especially in case of Nnamdi Kanu, who has only told Nigerians that it is about time, that enough was enough in your, very reckless and, uncomfortable attitude towards the Igbo man, that you should respect, give the Igbo man a pride of place in this country if you want him to do well, and he wants to do well. Now you say he are charging him for felony, for treason, and for running a parallel government and seeking for secession from Nigeria. So the barrister, well-meaning barrister, has said it, and I think that's where a lot of us have, anchored our expectations to. We believe and we firmly stand behind barrister, Aloy Jimako at this period to tell the whole world, yes, tell OhanaezeNdigbo, yes, we appreciate your concern for Nnamdi Kanu, but no, 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 don't appeal, don't claim, and don't request for what is totally, unpalatable to the Biafran man, to the psychic, and to the understanding of the Biafran man. Please, if you want to talk about Nnamdi Kanu, tell the Nigerian government, tell them to respect the rule of law, tell them to, consider his, breached human rights abuses. His Nigeria has first on him. Tell Nigeria that you're going to Kenya to extradite this man forcefully down to Nigeria illegally. That you have constituted an international breach of protocol, an international crime. what you have done to Nnamdi Kanu is akin to abduction, to kidnapping, and to, and the highest level of, human wickedness to a fellow man. So tell Nigeria to obey the rule of law and set him free unconditionally. Yes, my dear people of Biafra, Barrister Lloyd Ejimako has he has heard my views. He has represented our thinking, and I think we should give him a vigorous support, especially at this time when he has to clarify the status of our able maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, that's how it should be. We have, at every opportunity, we must call a spade a spade. We must insist on our rights, and we must make clarifications where necessary. I think that is enough for this audio. I think it's enough to have cautioned and enlightened the OhanaezeNdigbo, Chief Damian Okeke Ogene, and his other fellow compatriots. So please, yes, you mean well. You've considered Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, especially on Nigeria's 64th anniversary. But no, sir, don't worsen his case, because he is a free man. He is a man of justice, a man of peace. He is not a felon. He has not been convicted. He has not been found guilty. Let us call a spade a spade. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is, held against against the laws and everything concerning humanity in the world. His fundamental human rights have been breached. He has been exposed to undue opium and opprobrium. He has been totally marginalized. He has been put where his health conditions have totally deteriorated, and the government should do the needful, set him free conditionally, so that he can go about his business like the human being, rightful human being that he is. So there we anchor this audio. And once again, I'm wishing everybody well. And I say, please, let's rally around. Let's all of us put our hands on deck to work towards the liberation of the Biafran people, to work towards the legitimate declaration of the United States of Biafra. God bless you all. God protect our Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. God lead our able Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Continue to lead him well. Continue to give him great ideas. Continue to empower him, and continue to make the Biafran struggle, one that would eventually be achieved. Thank you all. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go Biafra we go meet am for there If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go Biafra we go meet am for there If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go Biafra we go meet am for there Alo Ejimako, Alo Ejimako, Alo Ejimako, Alo Ejimako. When you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go for Biafra we go meet am for there When you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say we dey go for Biafra we go meet am for there Na Simon Ekpa be the man. Na Simon Ekpa dey do am Ọba tó bíé, Ọba tó bíé.
Yeah, Biafra, yeah, Superstar Media.
Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra. I wanna know. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. I wanna know. We going back to the land. We going back to the motherland. Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the motherland. Tell me about Biafra, Biafra. Tell me about Biafra. We going back to the land.